Hello, all. Good morning. Am I audible?
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Please confirm. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Let us wait for another 1 minute, so other faculties also can join. Yes, let us start the session for today. What is today's topic?
TDS return filing.
Yes, sir. So today we are going to start TDS written filing module. So have you gone through the TDS computation module? So to get an idea of overall TDS sections.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is TDS? Yes. So in TDS written filing chapter, we are having, in TDS written filing module, yes. So this is TDS written filing module. In this TDS written filing module, there will be three chapters. The first chapter is 24Q. Okay, TDS written filing on salary. That is form 24Q. Then TDS written filing on other than salary. That is form 26Q. So these are the two types of forms we'll be dealing in this written filing module. And later TDS rectification. So when a notice comes, how do you rectify? Like for example, while filing the original return, you might find some errors. So later you found that has to be rectified. So how to rectify the TDS? Once the TDS return has been filed, how to rectify those TDS return file, that also will be briefly explained here. But there is right now there is no simulation for this. But for 24Q and 26Q, there is simulation available. So let us directly start first chapter, that is 24Q TDS return filing. So if you open the first chapter, that is introduction. So TDS return filing. So what is TDS return filing? First of all, what is TDS? TDS is nothing but tax deducted at source. Source means there are five sources of income. Income from salary, income from house property, profit and gains from business and profession, income from capital gains, and last income from other sources. These are the five sources of income. So when a person is receiving any these five sources of income, he might receive after the deduction of TDS as per the specified limits. So who will specify those limits? The government will specify those limits. Okay. Why should government deduct the tax? So why is government collecting the taxes? Basically, any person like employer or deductor. So any person who is paying money to somebody else, either employee or deductee or payee. So payer, payee, deductor, deductee, employer, employee. Any employer or payer or deductor is paying money to employee, deductee, or anybody else. This person will pay money after deduction of TDS. Why is like that? Because if any person is receiving income, on that income, one second. On that income, government needs to collect the taxes. Why? Because income tax, right? In the same way, every person who is receiving income more than the specified limits, on that tax has to be deducted. Who will deduct? Deductor will deduct taxes and pay the balance amount to the deductee, and the taxes collected will be deposited by the deductor on a monthly basis on or before 7th of every month. For the month of February, 7th of March. So that is how they will do. And after doing that, there are 4 quarters in a year. So out of all those 4 quarters, each quarter there will be one due date. On or before that due date, that employer or deductor who has deducted the taxes and paid to the government every month, they need to show the return filings. They need to show their returns in form 24Q, that is TDS return filing. So let us see that in detail now. You can see the concept of TDS was introduced with an aim to collect taxes from the very source of income. Obviously, yes. As per this concept, a person who is liable to make the payment of specified nature to any person, that is deductive. So person who is paying deductor payment, like you can see, right? Person paying money, deductor, receiving money, deductive, as simple as that. And he will remit the taxes to the and remit the same to the account of central government. So the deductor who collects the taxes from the deductee, he will directly remit the taxes to the government. So TDS return filing is a mandatory tax compliance. So it is a mandatory tax compliance. Why? Because to ensure transparency and accountability. So the deductee whose income tax has been deducted at source, he will get that credit. So whatever employer or deductor has deducted some taxes, that tax credit will be credited in that form 26AS of the deductee. What is form 26AS? That is an annual statement available for the deductee. Just like in GST, how input tax credit GST or 2B is there, in the same way in the TDS, form 26AS can be verified for the TDS credit. So if you see the flow chart or the diagram here, you can see deductor or payer. What is the duty of deductor? He will deduct and pay TDS. Pay TDS whom? So first of all, deduct what? TDS from whom? From the deductee. So deduct TDS from deductee and pay TDS to who? To government. After that, file TDS return and issue TDS certificate. How do he file TDS return? Every quarter he will file the TDS returns on or before the due dates. And once the filing is done, he will issue TDS certificate. What is TDS certificates? If it is salary, form 16. If it is other than salary, form 16A. These are called TDS certificates. Okay. So what is the duty of deductee? He can check form 26AS, that is annual statement. Once deductor files his TDS returns, deductee in the TDS login or income tax login, this deductee can check form 26AS. And he can claim that TDS deducted, just like in GST how we do output tax minus input tax will get net tax liability. In the same way, if any income tax liability is coming, so out of that income tax liability, this TDS will be minus. If any balance is there, that balance has to be paid as self-assessment tax. If balance is not there, still this TDS amount is in excess, then that balance excess amount will be refunded back by the government. So when will that happen? When the deductee or payee will file his income tax return. So all this is interlinked. So income tax return filing and TDS return filing are interlinked. If employer or deductor is not filing his TDS returns, deductee will not get any benefit, even though that person is deducting the TDS. So if you understand the loop, like the cycle, even in GST also I have explained you. So why 2B, why 1, why 3B? Because once any person files his TDS returns, that has to be reflected in this deductee, the 26 says. If it is not reflecting, what this deductee will do, he will ask his employer or deductor to do the same. So government cannot always keep on pushing the people to pay the taxes, right? So employee himself or payee himself keep on pushing, I am not getting available credit, please file, he will do. So this is how it works. Then what does income tax department do? They will check the TDS credit claim with form 26AS. So basically, if I am the person who is the deductee, so right now after 31st of March, I'll start filing my income tax returns. So when I file my income tax returns, I'll claim the TDS credit as 30,000 rupees. But in form 26 I would have got only 26,000 as TDS credit. But I have claimed 4,000 in excess. Then what happens? The income tax department will send me a demand notice telling that, boss, there is only 26,000 TDS credit available. Here you have availed in excess of 4,000. That is wrong. So once that is wrong, they will give the demand notice stating this is been wrong. Please update. And by paying the interest and penalty, we need to update. So this is how the whole scenario works. So who will deduct the TDS? Deductor will deduct the TDS from deductee and pay TDS to the central government. So when he will pay on or before 7th of subsequent month, he will pay TDS. This is the duty of the deductor. What is another important duty? For every 3 months, that means for every quarter, this fellow has to file his TDS returns. Whether it is salary, form 24Q, whether it is other than salary, form 26. Then what is the duty of deductee? He can check form 26AS whether the TDS that credit has been came to his properly or not every month. That month on month, whatever TDS has been deducted by the employer or deductor, that amounts are visible in this forms 26AS or not, he can view. And later he can claim that TDS in his income tax return filing. Then income tax department, what they will do, once the deductive files his income tax return, that department will verify that TDS credit claim with form 26 says, and if anything extra is there, extra claim or excess claim is there, they will send you the demand notice. This is the whole process. So here you can see what is TDS return. So a TDS return is a quarterly statement summarizing all TDS related transactions made with a specific quarter, obviously. So as I told you, 4 quarters will be there. So TDS return will be filed quarter wise. So what is the first quarter? April to June. So April, May, June, whatever payments has been done by the deductor. So all those payments, whether he has deducted TDS and paid the payment, those deducted TDS has to be remitted back to the government. Okay. After that, he will file his TDS returns. So what are the key elements in TDS returns? You can see deductor and deductee span, particulars of TDS payments, and challan details. So you know the PAN number, permanent account number. So deductor and deductee is fine. Particulars of TDS payments means whether it is section 192A, 192B, 194J, 194C, whichever section, minor head or major head, depending upon the type of payment, those particulars has to be updated. Then what is challan details? Challan details are nothing but where you are paying the income, like this taxes to the government. So government will give you a challan receipt. That is just an acknowledgement. It is nothing but an acknowledgement. So what are the details will be there in an acknowledgement? If you see, there will be the minor head, major head, nature of payment, amount, CIN number, mode of payment, bank reference number. The most important point in this TDS challan is the thing you need to remember. The last three things, that is BSR code, challan number, and tender date. So using these three items, we are going to file our income, sorry, TDS returns. So BSR code, challan number, and tender date are the most important things you need to understand and you need to remember. So these are the three important items where you use while filing your TDS returns. So if you come down, you can see TDS section code. What is section code? Even in the TDS computation module also you have already seen. So that is nothing but to refer the exact payment of TDS under each section. So obviously income tax department has allocated a 3-digit code to each section. So that is last three digits of any section. So if you see, TDS for payment of salary shall be deducted under section 182 of Income Tax Act. But while paying the this TDS amount on salary, you can see the TDS code as 92A, 92B. So that is how they will allocate the digits, last digits. So 92 is for salary, A means for central government employees, B means that state government, not state government, other than government employees. Okay. 92A is payment to government employees and 92B is payment of employees other than government employees. So this is how they will segregate sections. 94J, actually it is 194. In 194 section, there are 194C, 194J, 194I. So many sections are there, but payment code will be 94IA, 94IB, 94J. Even here also in this, you can see nature of payment 94J. This is the section code. So what is major head and minor head? So this is other than companies 0021. What is minor head? It is 200, that is TDS or TCS. So if you remember self-assessment tax, there will be code, minor head code. Advanced tax, there will be one code. Advanced tax 100, if you remember. So that is how there will be minor head code, major head codes, and nature of payment also section codes available for all the TDS payments. So you can see various forms. How many forms are there? Don't tell 2 forms. There are totally 4 forms. What are those 4 forms? One is 24Q, as you know, just now I told, TDS deducted on salary. 26Q other than salary. 27Q is for the non-resident Indians. TDS deducted on income payable to non-residents. So any person who is not a resident in India, if you are paying amount to that person, you need to deduct taxes and you need to file form 27Q and pay the balance amount to that person. That is form 27Q. What is form 27EQ? That is TCS, tax collected at source. Okay. So let us see. So as I told you earlier in the beginning, in this chart you can see deductor will issue TDS certificate. What are those certificates that deductor is going to issue? That is nothing but form 16. So Form 16 is certificate of TDS on salary that contains details of income earned and taxes deducted. So if you see, Form 16 contains two parts. One is Part A, another one is Part B. Part A, what are the details available in Part A? All the details relating to employer, all deductor, all the details relating to employee or deductee. So in this chapter, this is basically TDS on salary. We will be talking in respective of salary only. Next chapter, we will talk in respective of other than salary. So in this chapter, if you are dealing with TDS on salary, obviously employer details, employee details, and tax details. So let us see some sample of Form 16 Part A. So this is the sample. If you see the sample Part A, so certificate number. So we are talking, this is a certificate, right? So if it is a certificate, you can see certificate under section 203 of Income Tax Act for tax deducted or source on salary. So TDS certificate is issued under section 203 of Income Tax Act 1961. Okay. So for every certificate, there will be one number, right? So that number is this certificate number. So you can see one, we have given this numberings, what and all these things. First thing is name and address of the employer. So this is the name and address of the employer. You can see name and address of the employee. So employer, employee, name and address. PAN of the deductor. Who is deductor? Deductor is nothing but employer. This employer PAN. TAN of employer. What is the difference between PAN and TAN? PAN is permanent account number. TAN is tax account number. Why do that? Did the employer should have two, PAN and TAN? Is there any specific reason? Okay. So basically, PAN will be there. That is permanent account number for doing all the transactions. TAN will be issued for the employer who is going to deduct the TDS. If he is deducting the TDS and paying taxes to the government, that person will be issued TAN number. That is tax account number. Okay. So employers or deductors will be having TAN number. Employees will be having PAN number. Okay. Next, PAN of the employee. So there will be no TAN of the employee. So only PAN of the employee. Later, you can see CIT. What do you mean by CIT? That is Commissioner of Income Tax. Okay. Commissioner of Income Tax for TDS. So based on the TAN number or PAN number, whatever is there for you. So you belong to which jurisdiction? Depending upon the jurisdiction, this CIT, Commissioner of Income Tax, Ahmedabad is there for this particular TAN number and PAN number. So for every jurisdiction, there will be one commissioner of income tax. He will be taking care of all these things. He is the person who is going to verify your income tax returns or TDS returns, and he will be issuing the demand notices. Then assessment year, you all know, period with employer from 1st April to 31st March. So assessment year is the year where the income will be assessed. So after that, you can see the 7th point, that is taxable salary. So there are 4 quarters. Out of 4 quarters, every quarter, 3 months salary. This is 87,500 is not 1 month salary. That is for 3 months salary. So 3 months, 87,500 has been paid as a salary to the employee. Total 3,50,000 has been paid in the whole year by the employer to the employee. On 3,50,000, this person has deducted TDS of 6,448 rupees. So you need to remember, so employer collecting taxes from the employee and he is remitting to the government, right? So when he is remitting to the government, whatever remittance is there, that remittance has to match with the tax deducted already from the employee. If there is any mismatch in these two, again there will be demand notice issued by the income tax commissioner. So tax deducted is 1612, tax remitted is also 161. So this tax deducted 6448 is matching with this tax remittance. So this is correct. There is no demand notice going to arise. You need to analyze all these things by seeing just form 16. That is part A. Then what is part B? So part B contains all the details relating to the salary. This is nothing but an annexure. So it is all breakdown of salary components. So in income from salary, in income tax computation, I would have explained you all the details relating to gross salary, less allowances, deductions, perquisites, whatever it is there, all the relevant salary breakdown will come here. You can go through this. So total income from salary, if any other income, after that gross total income will come. Deductions under chapter 6 say later you will find taxable income. On taxable income, you will find net tax payable. So in the same process, employer will do all these things and he will file the TDS return. Once the TDS return has been filed, the traces website you can download in this form 16 and form 16A. Okay. So we have understood form 16 part A, part B, what would be the details. So deductor will issue this. Then what deductee need to do? He need to verify the details in form 26 says. So what is this form 26 says? It is an annual statement. So if it is an annual statement, so for employee or deductee, where he can view this annual statement? He can view this annual statement on the Traces website. I'll show you later how that works. So let us see the structure of 26 A's. So there are so many parts, correct? So the most important part is part A, details of TDS. So part A, there will be details of TDS where the person, the employer or deductor, whoever he has deducted the taxes and he has filed his TDS returns, all those will be coming here in the part A. A1 details of tax deducted at source for 15G 15H. What is this form 15G 15H? If any person has submitted, the senior citizen would have submitted this form 15G and 15H in the banks, that their total income is less than the basic exemption limit, don't deduct any taxes on the fixed deposit. This issue that banks will give the interest, right? Interest on fixed deposits. So interest on fixed deposits are full amount of fixed deposits whenever they are going to withdraw. On those things, if these person go and submit form 15G 15H, all those details also will be coming in part A1. And in part A2, you can see details of tax deducted resource on sale of immovable properties. And part B will be tax of details of tax collected at source and whatever it is, all the part C, part D, part E. So tax refund, SFT means details of SFT transactions. I'll explain you those things in the later classes. I'll show you what and all those things are. Next, part F and part G, the TDS defaults, if any defaults are there, and part H, details of turnover as per GSTR 3B. Why GSTR 3B is coming here? So when the person is doing any business, that person GSTR 3B he would have filed, right? There he would have got some turnover. So the turnover income also will be shown here, because that based on that turnover, this income tax return has to be filed by this person, deductee, right? So all those details will be coming in the form 26A. So let us solve some MCQs. Under income tax, dash dash is the form issued by the employer to his employee certifying the amount of tax deducted by him against the salary income. Can anybody tell me the answer for this?
Form 16.
Form 16, sir.
This is absolutely correct. Dash is also known as the annual information statement, can be generated on the income tax portal, and it provides the details of income earned along with the TDS deducted thereon. What would be the answer for this?
Form 26A.
This is nothing but an annual statement. So there is another small thing, that is annual information statement in the income tax portal. So what is this annual information statement and what is the difference between 26 AS and AAS? It is very simple. Annual information statement is an extension to Form 26 AS. So Form 26 AS just displays you the details of all the property purchases or whatever high value investments, transactions carried out during the year, all those things will be showing. But AAS will include additionally, like these things also will be included, including savings bank interest, or if you have received any dividend from any company or from any shares or any rent received. So basically, so whatever bank account is there for you, so whatever amount you have received to that bank accounts, so all those tracing of these transactions will be there in the AAS. Okay. This is the introduction part for the TDS on salary. So let us now see what is Form 24Q. So that is nothing but a TDS return on salary payment. So for filing TDS return, the deductor should mandatorily have TAN, PAN, both A and B, either A or B is sufficient. Can anybody answer this question?
Both A and B, sir.
Can anyone answer?
Both A and B, sir.
Both A and B is required. That is mandatory. So what is Form 24Q and how to file this Form 24Q? I'll explain you. So what are the before that, let us briefly see what would be the details will be there in Form 24Q Annexure 1 and Annexure 2. Annexure 1 is nothing but deductive wise breakup of TDS against each particular challan. If I show you like this, you will not understand. If I open the utility, then you will get an understanding. I'll open and show you, no issues. Then Annexure 2 of Form 24Q. So give me a minute. Yes. I'll explain the TDS return filing process. So how to file the TDS returns? So there are two ways of filing the TDS returns. One is using return preparation utility, which is there available as for free on the government websites. And the second option is paid software also there, like Winman, TDS, Sagal, whatever, so many paid softwares are there. Depending upon the requirements, any company or any person can buy those softwares and they can file the returns. But here we are going to teach return preparation utility, which is available for free on the government portals. I'll explain you what is RPU. RPU is nothing but short form for return preparation utility. Okay. So for preparing a return, a utility is required or a tool is required, that is called RPU. Okay. So what are the steps to file the TDS return using this RPU? There are 4 steps. What is the step 1? Download challan status inquiry file from ePay tax page, which means if you remember in the TDS computation modules, on or before 7th of next month, subsequent month, you used to pay the taxes, right? TDS amount by mentioning the sections 92J, 92B, 92A, 94C, whatever things sections are there. You used to pay those sections and you used to pay taxes to that particular sections. So you need to now download the details of all the taxes paid in that particular quarter. That file, the file which has to be downloaded from the website, will be downloaded as CSI file. .csi, that is nothing but challan status inquiry file. That is first step. So the second step is you need to download the RPU, the utility files you need to download. That is RPU and Java preparation utilities. These two you need to download and run. Then you need to open those things. I'll show you those things also. And third step is upload FVU file on the income tax website. So once you download the RPU file and Java, and you need to run the RPU file, that return preparation utility will get open. In that return preparation utility, there will be tabs like general tab, this challan tab, and then annexure 1 and annexure 2. In challan tab, you will enter all the details of the challans paid, whatever challans has been paid in that particular quarter, those things you will enter. In annexure 1, in the previous section, if you see form 24Q, this here, the details, all the details relating to annexure 1. So these details you will enter in annexure 1, and in annexure 2, you will enter the remaining details. Whatever details are there here, you will enter in this form RPU. And final step would be requesting for form 16 in the traces website by verifying challan and submitting triple R number. What is triple R number? Here also generate triple R number is there. What is this triple R number? It is not Rajamouli filling triple R. There is triple R number in TDS and income tax also. So there is a task for you. What is triple R number? Find out and tell me in the next class, tomorrow's class. Okay. So these are the 4 steps which are available with us. Like we need to follow this step-by-step process. I will show you the step-by-step process. One is download the CSI file. How to download the CSI file? There is an experiment given. First, I'll just log in PLRF 07994A and click on the continue. So once I click on the continue, I need to click on the password. So what is the password here? PIN@123. And I click on continue button. So from here, what are they asking us to do? Log into income tax portal, log in, and go to challan status file, download the CSI file for the period of 1st January to 31st March. Okay. They are asking to download the CSI file for the last quarter, that is 1st January to 31st March. So where will I go? I'll go to the e-file page and e-pay tax. So here there will be CSI. So here I need to select the dates. So this is the quarter. I need to click on the filter challan. So once the filter challan button is coming, you can see download challan file. Just click on that download challan file. So this is how one file will get downloaded. What is this? TANM CS file. This is nothing but CSI file. TAN number. So TAN means tax account number. TAN num CS file TXT. This is the CSI file you need to download. That is the first step. So if you remember, I'm just linking to the TDS computation. So TDS computation module ends at payment of taxes online. Correct? You would have paid taxes by clicking here on the new payment. You would have paid taxes by clicking here on the new payment in the TDS computation module. So here you are going to continue from that step. So once the payments are done every month, so once in a quarter, you will file the TDS returns by clicking on the Challan status inquiry. So you will select the period and download the CSI file. This is how CSI file is downloaded. So if you want to download the CSI file, which is prior to 1st July 2022, right now it has been in the income tax website itself. But whatever there before July 22, it was in the previous website, that is Traces website. That is not relevant as of today. But if somebody wants to just to know, you can go there also and download. Even now also it will work. So click on the TAN based view. All these things are given for your understanding. You can go there and click the download Challan file there also. Okay. This is how you download the CSI file. So first step done. So second step, prepare TDS statement using RPU and generate file validation utility, that is FVU file. This is the most important step and most tricky step in TDS return filing. You need to input n number of data inside this. You need to type all the details here. You need to cross verify. You need to match everything. If it is not correct, you need to correct all those things. And then that FVU file will get generated. Okay. This is simulation. You need to remember, I am telling you again and again. In this simulation, this is original go. This I'll show you. This RPU is there, right? So this Java and RPU are downloaded from the original website, and we are running the download latest version of RPU 4.9. So whatever latest versions we are downloading, these latest versions are as per the website. As of today, this is the version. After some days, it might be updated. So then you can file these returns using those updated versions. That will be updated on a regular basis. Even you also need to know these are versions, just like an Android mobile. You can see updates in the Play Store. In the website also, they will be keeping on posting the updates, updated versions. We need to download those versions and then we need to file our TDS returns. The first and most important thing we need to download is Java. Whether there is Java on your system or not. If there is no Java file, you need to just download the Java file. So these are the runtime editions. You can download any edition of this. But here right now it is not there. But in the case study, when there is there, we have given the downloadables here itself. In the case study, we have given you the downloadables. So from here, I am not going to explain this step by step. I'm not going to show you all these things. I'm not showing you, I'm not going to show you. So this is how it will, it will not work, right? So practically, I need to show you how it has to be done. So I'm not going to show this theory. I'm directly I'll show you on my system how to download and install. So let us move to the case study one. So before that, this preparation of FU file, uploading FU file is just a steps, practical steps. I'll show you those things practical way. I'm not going to show you those things step by step right now. So all these things you can go through. This is important thing. This you need to understand and remember. So what are the due dates for TDS return filings? So do you know these things, or this is the first time you're listening to this? So there are 4 quarters. In those 4 quarters, you know, 1st April to 31st March. So first quarter, the due date would be 31st of July. So 30th June, 31st of July. 30th September, next month, 31st. 31st of December, 31st Jan. But for 31st of March, it is 31st of May. Why? Because it is a financial year end. So even if you remember, for TDS payments also, every month 7th is the due date. But for the last month, March month, 30th of April is the due date. In the similar manner, for TDS return filing, for the last quarter, it is 31st of May. If you are not filing your TDS returns on or before those dates, late filing fees and penalty and interest will be applicable. So what is the penalty? What is the late filing fees? So as per section 234E, 200 per day is the late filing fees. For example, so for the third quarter, 31st Jan is the due date. You have not filed TDS returns for the third quarter. Today is 11th of March. So how many days has been elapsed? 29 days in February, 11 days in March, 40 days. So 40 into 100. How much? 40 into 100. 4,000 rupees late fees has to be paid. Sorry, 40 into 200. 80,000 rupees has to be paid as the late filing fees. That is late filing fees for not filing the TDS returns on or before the due dates. Then what is the penalty? Penalty, if sometimes what happens, if the assessing officer wants that person has delayed the TDS returns willingly, then he may charge the penalty of minimum of 10,000 and maximum of 1 lakh. It depends upon the assessing officer, that is Commissioner of Income Tax. And what about interest? So interest, two parts will come. What are those parts? Means TDS not deducted, TDS not deposit. What is the difference between TDS not deducted, not deposit? Means the duty of the employer in the first introduction section I have told you, the duty of the employer is to collect the taxes, which means he needs to deduct the taxes and he needs to remit the taxes to the government. Correct? He needs to deduct the taxes from the employee and remit the taxes to the government. If the employer is deducting the taxes from the employee and remitting the same to the government, no interest is applicable. But suppose if the employer is not deducting any TDS, even though he has to be deducting the TDS, 1% from month, from the date of deduction to actual date of deduction will be there. Okay, from 1% from due date of deduction to actual date of deduction. What do you mean by due date of deduction? What do you mean by due date of deduction? Every month. Yes, sir.
7th of every month.
That is due date for the payment of TDS to the government. So here you need to understand another important point. In TDS, so for the month of February, 29th was the last date, right? 29th February. The due date of deduction would be the payment of amount to that particular person. So somebody was sharing the answer. Time of payment, exactly, sir. So can you please know your name? I forgot again. Admin. Who is this admin? At least please change your name so that I'll get to know. Fine. That is correct, sir. The time of payment. The due date of deduction is nothing but the time of payment to actual date of deduction. Okay. Then 1%, Amanath. So that is the interest applicable if TDS is not deducted. Sometimes what happens, this fellow employer would have deducted the TDS properly, but he has not deposited into the government that income tax website on or before 7th of next month. TDS not deposited on or before 7th of next month. So from that date to actual date of payment, 1.5% per month. So even though 1 day delay, 1 month interest has to be paid. That is interest in the non-deduction of TDS and non-deposit of TDS. These are the two instances interest is applicable. So can anyone tell me the answer? The quarterly statement of TDS, that is TDS written for the first quarter of the year 22-23. So Q1 of 22-23 is filed by Simran on 4th of April 2023. Okay. One second. Okay. First quarter of the year 22-23, which means 1st April 2022 to 31st of March 2023, means 1st April 2022 to 30th June 2022. For that 3 months, those that TDS return has filed on next year 4th of April. What is the due date for the first quarter? 31st of July. So Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
I think there was a technical issue. Yeah, tell me the answer. So due date for, sorry, not due date. What is the amount when there is a late, you have not filed on or before the due date? Late filing fees for each day, how much? So case study one. So there are different types of tasks given for us to file. File TDS return for quarter four of current financial year using the following details. So first task is to download the CSI file from ePay tax page of income tax website. Okay. Download and install RPU file on your system to prepare Form 24Q. Okay. Upload a few files generated through utility on the income tax portal. Okay. Note down the acknowledgement details. Request and download Form 16 using the details of acknowledgement on places. So let us start doing this. So I just go click on the simulation to download the TDS files. User ID BLRG 22875G. So BLRG 22875G. I'll just click on the continue button. I'll continue, click, give the password pin at the rate 123. So continue. The first task they asked us to do is to download CSA file from the e-filing page. So I'll go to the e-file, e-pay tax. So I'll go to challan inquiry status, and after that I'll go. What is they're telling which quarter? Quarter four. Okay. So quarter four they're asking us to download. So I'll go here. So last quarter, 1st January to 31st March. I'll click on the filter challan. So various amounts will come. I'll click on the download challan file. So the challan file would have been downloaded. Okay. So first task is done. Second task, download and install RPU. So how to download and install RPU? So click here to download the RPU files. The software has been downloaded in the zip format. So I'll open this. So I'll create a new folder here. TDS return filing. I'll cut these two and paste here inside this folder. Case study 1, chapter 1, 24Q. So here I'll extract. So I'll run this Java application on my system it is already installed, so I'm not installing it again. You can install that Java setup file. So right now I think here it is RPO 4.3. So instead of doing this, I'll directly go to the website. So traces website I'll go. So this is the original website of the traces. So from this website I'll download. What I'll download? This called RPU. I'll download the RPU. Here will I download downloads. Where is downloads option? Here, if you can see download forms, click on the download forms. So come down. So from here in this website, I'll come down. So right now RPU version 5.0 is there. So RPU for quarterly returns. So 5.0. So click on the RPU version 5.0. So this is the latest version right now. Once I open TDS RPU 5.0, you can see so many files here. You need to search for JAR file, executive jar file. So TDS RPU 5.4. So this is the file we need to open. Double click on that. And here we can see prerequisites for Java RPU installation. So you would have already downloaded this and installed that. So here we need to select the form number. So right now come back to the question. In the question, they are asking us what? Download and install RPU on your system to prepare form 24Q. So I have downloaded my RPU. So RPU delete has been downloaded and installed, and I need to prepare form 24Q. So click on the form 24Q. The statement to be prepared regular or correction. So right now it is regular. If it is correction means already you would have filed TDS regular statement. Then you found any mistakes. Then you click on the correction and click to continue. Otherwise, if you have already saved any file, you can open this. But right now, this is the first time we are doing. I'll click on the continue button. So once I click on the continue button, form number 24Q will be open. So in this form, you can see various tabs. One is form, challan, annexure 1, and other services. So in this form, we need to fill all the basic details of the employer and all the who is the person responsible to tax, and all these details will enter in the form. Then challan tab, whatever challans are there, all those challan details will enter here, and annexure 1, the deductive details. So if it is for the quarter 4, annexure 2 also will come. So first of all, we need to enter the financial here. So what is the financial year in the question they are asking us to do? Come down in the question. So I think current year only they will take. So 23, 24 let us take. You take 22, 23 also no issue. Take 22, 23 for the quarter ended Q4. So once I selected Q4, annexure 2 and annexure 3 has given. So if I select Q3, only annexure 1 would be there. Because in the first 3 quarters, there is no need of annexure 2 and 3. Only in the last quarter, we need to give annexure 2. I will explain what are those details. So particulars of the statement. So what is the TAN number of this particular employer? So the company information BLRG 22875G. So BLRG 22875G. Next, permanent account number. I need to enter NHNCG 2827L. So the remaining details are not relevant as of now. So what are the relevant details? I am just entering only those details. So who is the employer here? The employer is Fincy Power Source Private Limited, the name of the company. So Fincy Power Source Private Limited. This is not relevant. Branch is not relevant. All these are not relevant. State. Which state? Bangalore means Karnataka. So all these scores, if the details are there, you can give. I don't think so in the question they have given all those details. Just ignore. No issues. So wherever there is a asterisk mark, that is compulsory. Those details has to be entered compulsorily. So flat number they are asking. Here in the address they are giving 2870. Name of the premises Phoenix Building. Next, Bagmane Business Park. Area Marthalli. Town Bangalore. Pin code 560037. State again Karnataka. Telephone number I don't think so they have given. Leave it. All these things leave it. GST number. If GST number is available, you can give GST number. Right now GST number has not been mentioned in the question. Just ignore it. So details of the person responsible for tax. What do you mean by the details of the person responsible for tax? Which means the company itself cannot pay right anything to the employees. So there will be one person representative of this particular company. So any person who is the representative of this particular company, he will be considered as person responsible for deduction of tax. So the employer who is representing the company, the details we need to enter. So in this question, they have given the details of authorized person, the name, father name, designation, and PAN. Using these details, we need to enter all these things here. What's the name of the authorized person? That is Alur Satyanarayana Rajendra. So here I will enter Alur Satya Narayana Rajendra. Next, father name, PAN number, HTSPA 8763. HTSPA 8763. So designation general manager. Next, they're asking us the address of this particular authorized person. In the question, if they are not given, just copy paste this only, no issues. A click or same as above. All these things will automatically come. No need to copy paste also. Click on the same as above, everything will come automatically. Only thing you need to give name, designation, and PAN number. So has address changed since last written? No. As regular statement for Form 24Q filed for earlier period, select it as no. If you keep yes, you need to enter this receipt number. So right now we don't know anything, right? So just keep it as no. So once this is done, come down. So that's it from this form tab. So in this form tab, you can enter all the relevant details. So once it is done, you can see here, create file, save, open back. So whenever you want to save the details to say that once the file has to be saved. So later also you can open this file. Just click on the save button. So click on the save button. So it will open. It will ask a path to save. I'll just go to the path. So this is where I want to save my file. So file has been saved. So just like Control S in the Excel sheet, you can just press save button when and where you want to save this file. This is the form tab where I have entered all the details. I just click on the Challan tab. So you can see so many things here. So right from the serial number 1 to 23, so many details are there. So this is Challan tab. So what is this Challan tab? So come back to the question. If you come back to the question and analyze the question, you will get to know what and all details we need to do. So they have given the salary and TDS details. So salary details for the at the beginning of the financial year. Okay. If you remember in the TDS competition module also case study, the same thing was there. That is just a extension of that particular question. You can see even in the question itself, the answer has been given. So using this, we need to just file the TDS returns. So details of all the Q1, Q2, Q3, April to December, all the TDS deducted has been given here. And here for the Nitin Hegde, income tax computations are also given, old scheme and new scheme. Employee to Navin Narayan also, the details has been given. Later, during the Q4, Kiran K has joined. So once the Kiran K has joined, they have given this monthly TDS table and all those things. So then they have even given TDS remitted to the government and downloaded the files. So there, whatever TDS we have deducted, right, deducted and remitted to the government in the TDS completion module, those things are given as the TDS paid challan here. Using this TDS paid challan, we need to enter the details in this challan particular tab. So challans we need to enter. How many challans are there? You can see 5th February 7782. Okay. 7th March 6510. Okay. So only two under details of competition. Again, in the month of March, there has been some new Kiran K added. So using that, they have recomputed everything again. The question is very used. The answer is very simple. So you can see again in the month of March, they have recalculated everything and they paid the balance amount of 6,510 on 7th of April. I'm not going into depth of each and every step of this TDS computation because everything is already taught in the TDS computation module. It is just an extension of TDS computation module. If you have not done, go back to that particular sections, case study 1, go through, solve it, everything, come back here, continue here. That is why I was telling you to solve all the questions in the TDS computation module. If you have done that, you will understand here, otherwise you will not understand. So the solution is very simple. They have given so many steps here. I'm not going to show those steps. I'm directly using this RPU file and showing you how to enter the details. So I just need to click on add rows here. If I click on add rows, how many rows I need to add? So 3 challans has to be added. So in the month of Jan, February, March, 3 challans has paid. So 3 challans I need to add. So 3 rows I click and click on the OK. So once 3 rows has been added, I need to each and every particular cell which is not which is in the ash color, that is not needed to be entered, which is there in the white color, you need to compulsorily enter that particular field. If you are not entering that particular field, it will not get saved. The data is it will not allow you to go further only. So what is the first challan? I'll come back to the question. Table F4. In table F4, the TDS paid challan of rupees 7,782 on 5th February. So TDS amount. What is the TDS amount? 7782. 7782.00. So surcharge, everything is 005, no issues. I'm just keeping on clicking tap, tap, tap. So BSR code. As I told you earlier, BSR code is very much important. If I come down, you can see BSR code here 735236 735236. Next date on which deposited the challan, the date is 2nd of April. So the date format should be DDMMYYYY. So here I need to enter 02, not 5th of February, right? So 0502 2023 I will take instead of 2025 because I have selected here the in the form tab. I think 22 23 I have selected. Otherwise, I would have selected that. So click on 23 20. Click on Q4. And again, I am clicking on save button. Again, I am just click on the save button. The file will the updated file keeps on saving. I'll come to the challan tab. So here again, I'll select 0502 2024. So another important thing I told you to remember challan serial number. What is challan serial number? So here you can see challan number 91004. 91004. So mode of deposit through bank adjustment? No. Interest to be allocated? No. Right now not required all these things. So minor head of challan, it is TDS payable by taxpayer, not TDS payable by assessment. So 200 has been selected. So that's it for the first challan. So I'm moving to the second challan. That is 7th of March, 6,510, 6510.00 and BSR code 2740722, 2740722. Date 7th of March, 7th of March 2024. Challan serial number 11823. That's it. Again, third challan. I come down. So that is 6510 on 7th April again. So 6510.00. The BSR code 7745449, 7745449. Date of payment 7th of April. Challan serial number 77991. That's it. So by this, I have complete. I think one thing I have missed out is for the second and third challan. I have not entered the minor. This is compulsory. Done. I click on save again. I just click on save. It will get saved. So again, I'll go to the annexure 1 details. So now this challan, I think everyone understood how to install the RPU, how to install Java, how to install the latest files from the website, from the Protean file. So Protean website, you can see. So this is proteantinpan.com. From this website, you can download the latest version of 5.0 and open this utility. You need to select form 24Q or 26Q. Right now, we are doing the TDS on salary. Form 24Q has been opened. And in the form tab, I need to enter all the details related to the details of the deductor and who is the person responsible to tax. And in the challan tab, I have entered all the details for that particular quarter, how many challans has been paid, all those details has been entered. So in the next tab, that is annexure 1, we'll enter the deductive details of this particular challan. I'll explain you that in tomorrow's class. That's it for today's class. Thank you all for joining the session. See you in the tomorrow's class.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.